And here is the Writer's Almanac for Thursday, July the 2nd, 2020. It was on this day, 1679, Daniel Greysolon, Sieur de Luth, first reached Lake Superior, about where the city is that bears his name, Duluth. French soldier, explorer, he came to try to broker a peace agreement between the Sioux and the Ojibwe Indians so that the French could resume their fur trading there. And he did negotiate a peace treaty. He arranged some intertribal marriages and then headed west to explore the Mississippi and the St. Croix. 1776, on this day, the Second Continental Congress, assembled in Philadelphia, formally adopted a resolution for independence from Great Britain, a unanimous vote, New York abstaining. The revolution had been going on for over a year because of steep taxes and the Stamp Act of 1765, fact of being ruled by a king an ocean away, and the colonists had no voice in Parliament. And the publication of the pamphlet Common Sense by Thomas Paine that same year, 1776, had gradually turned the tide in favor of independence. Weeks before, the Continental Congress had formed a committee to draft a Declaration of Independence, and the committee decided that one of their membership, Thomas Jefferson, lawyer from Virginia, should be the one to draft it. And he did in about 17 days on a portable desk that he himself had designed. So they approved the resolution on this day, and then they adopted the Declaration of Independence on July the 4th. So that's the day we now celebrate as Independence Day. It's the birthday of the poet Wisława Szymborska, born in Poland, 1923. Wrote her first poems for the Krakow newspaper. She wrote a column in a journal, Literary Life, for 20 years, wrote book reviews, and when in 1996 she won the Nobel Prize for Literature, very few people outside of Poland had ever heard of Miss Szymborska. She accepted the Nobel Prize with a speech that began, "They say the first sentence in any speech is always the hardest, so that one's behind me anyway." And it's the birthday of the lawyer and Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall, born in Baltimore, 1908. He was the lawyer for the NAACP who argued the case of Brown versus Board of Education before the Supreme Court, a case in which the court ruled that racial segregation violated the Equal Protection Clause of the Constitution. He was appointed to the court in 1967. Here's a poem for today by Linda Paston, The Months. March, when the Earl King came to steal away the child in Goethe's poem, the father said, "Don't be afraid, it's just the wind," as if it weren't the wind that blows away the tender fragments of this world, leftover leaves in the corners of the garden, a Lenten rose that thought it safe to bloom so early. April, in the pastel blur of the garden, the cherry and red bud shake rain from their delicate shoulders as petals of pink dogwood wash down the ditches in dreamlike rivers of color. May apple, daffodil, hyacinth, lily, and by the front porch steps, every billowing shade of purple and lavender lilac, my mother's favorite flower, sweet breath, drifting through the open windows, perfume of memory, conduit of spring. The Months, a poem by Linda Paston from The Last Uncle. That's the Writer's Almanac for Thursday, July the 2nd. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.